Hello. It's my first video. I'm gonna be reading for 15 minutes like Kyler. But he copied so I'm not really copying nobody. But I'm gonna read for 15 minutes. I don't know where I left off. But I'm gonna start in chapter 1. The Let Them Theory. I got my watch. Y'all see this? And go. I'm gonna read out loud. Start. Chapter 1. Stop wasting your life on things you can't control. If you're struggling to change your life, achieve your goals, or feel happier, I want you to hear this. The problem isn't you. The problem is the power you unknowingly give to other people. We all do it often without realizing it. You make the mistake of thinking that if you say the right thing, everyone will be satisfied. If you bend over backward, maybe your partner won't be disappointed. If you're friendly enough, maybe your coworkers will like you more. If you keep the peace, maybe your family will stop judging your choices. I know this because I've lived it. I spent years trying to be everything for everyone else, thinking that if you could just do enough, say the right things, and keep everyone happy, I'd finally feel good about myself. But what happens instead? You work harder, bend further, and shrink yourself smaller, and still someone is disappointed. Still, someone criticizes. Still, you're left feeling like no matter how hard you try, it's never enough. It doesn't have to be this way. This book is here to help you take your power back. Stop wasting your time, energy, and happiness trying to control things you can't control, like other people's opinions, moods, or actions, and instead focus on the one things you can't control, you. Here's a remarkable thing. You stop managing everyone else, you realize you have a lot of power than you thought you've unknowingly been given away. Let me introduce you to the simplest, most life-changing idea I've ever discovered, the Let Them Theory. What is the Let Them Theory? The Let Them Theory is about freedom. 2 simple words, let them, will free you from the burden of trying to manage other people. When you stop obsessing over what other people think, say, or do, you finally have the energy to focus on your own life. You stop reacting and start living. Instead of driving yourself crazy trying to manage other people, you learn to let them. So what does that look like? Imagine you're at work and your colleague is in a bad mood. Instead of letting their negativity affect you, just say let them. Let them be grumpy. It's not your problem. Focus on your work and how you feel. Or maybe your dad makes another comment about your life choices and it hits you like a brick. Instead of letting it ruin your day, just say let him. Let him have his opinions. They don't change who you are or what you've accomplished or your right to make decisions that make you happy. The truth is, other people hold no power over you unless you give it to them. Here's why this works. When you stop trying to control things that aren't yours to control, you stop wasting energy. You reclaim your time, your peace of mind, and your focus. You realize that your happiness is tied to your actions, not someone else's behavior, opinions, or mood. It sounds simple, and it is, but I'm telling you, this shift will change everything. And even though it's called Let Them, this book is about you, your time, and your energy, because these are the most precious resources you have. The Let Them Theory will teach you that the more you let other people live their lives, the better your life gets. And the more you let people be who they are, or feel what they feel, or think what they think, the better your relationship will be. Learning how to let adults be adults has changed my life, and it'll change yours too, because when you finally stop giving power to other people, you'll see how much power you truly have. But perhaps the most surprising thing about the Let Them Theory is how I discovered it in the first place. I'm almost embarrassed to tell you the story. I discovered something that changed my entire approach to life at a high school prom. The prom that changed my life. I don't know what it is about proms, but boy, are they stressful. I went through 4 of them with our 2 daughters, so I figured our son Oakley's would be a breeze. Who the fuck is Oakley? I was wrong. Our daughters had obsessed about every detail for months. Dresses, dates, promposals, hairstyles, spray tans, makeups, corsages, bus rentals, post-prom parties. It was never ending. I was so glad when their proms were finally over. Our sons, on the other hand, wasn't sure he and his friends were ever going to go. Despite my prodding, He communicated zero details or plans with us. And then, of course, the week of prom, Oakley decided that he wanted to go. Everything was a last minute scramble. The tuxedo, the specific sneakers he wanted to wear, the logistics. Even after finding his date, something our daughters agonized over for months, was left for 48 hours before the big event. Man, the bitch got tugged. 48 hours? Tragic. When prom finally arrived, miraculously, we had the tux, the tennis shoes, the date, and the location of the pre-prom photos figured out. Somehow we had also been talked into hosting the prom party. Right before we were racing out the door, my husband Chris fixed Oak's bow tie one last time. Our daughter Kendall, who was home for college, looked at her brother and said, "You look so good, Oakley." It's 5 minutes. Right before racing out the door, my husband Chris fixed his Oakley's bow tie. Oh, wait. I stood there and took it in the moment. What a handsome young man he had grown into. I couldn't believe how fast 18 years had flown by. I also couldn't believe that Kendall was almost done with college, and our daughter Sawyer had already graduated and was now working at a large technology firm in Boston. As I stood there in the kitchen, I allowed this fact to wash over me. Time was passing, and I wish it would slow down. That's the cruel fact about time. It's going to keep passing whether you slow down or not. The time that you have with the people that you love is like melting ice cube. 1 minute is there, the next minute is gone. And here's the sad truth. You and I, we can't stop the ice cube from melting. The only thing we could do is make the most of the time that we have with the people that we love while we have it. In moments like this, when I really stop and pause, I always feel a little sad. I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm racing through life, not allowing myself to truly enjoy it. And I get so worked about things that don't matter that I ruin the brief moments I have with those I love. Did I really have to get so stressed about the last minute scramble and take it out on Oakley? No. I'm sure you can relate. Even if you don't have a child, going to the prom, maybe you've let comments from your family ruin an entire holiday together, or been so consumed with work or school that you cancel yet another plan with your friends. You can waste years of your life being distracted by meaningless things or late nights at work. It's easy to get yourself so stressed out about life that you forget the entire point is to live it. As I stood there in the kitchen watching Chris fix Oakley's bow tie, I just tried to take it all in. I took a deep breath, walked up to Oak, and gave him a hug. I looked at him and said, "You look so handsome." "Thanks, Mom." And then he saw what time it was and said, "Dude, we gotta go." And just like that, the moment was gone and time was moving again. Life is funny like that. 1 minute you're tearing up about the passing of time and how old the kids have gotten. The next minute you're racing around trying to find your keys and getting annoyed that someone's left their dishes in the sink again. On the way out the door, I opened the fridge and grabbed the beautiful corsage I had made from the local flower shop for Oakley's date. He took one look at it and said, "Mom, she doesn't want a corsage. Don't bring that." I stared at him. "But it's so beautiful," I said. "Are you sure?" "I already told you. She said she doesn't want one." "Well, how about I just bring it with us, and if she wants to wear it, she can, and if she doesn't have to." He snapped at me. "Mom, please, I don't want you to bring it." I rolled my eyes at our daughter Kendall, looking for some backup. She shook her head at me and said, "Mom, drop it. He's nervous. He doesn't really know the girl he has. Don't push it." I'll admit that I was annoyed and maybe even a little hurt. I had spent time scrolling online researching flower trends for prom and had ordered his date something really killer and taken the time to drive down, get it, and pay for it. Here I was trying to do something nice for him, and instead of being grateful, he's barking at me. Plus, it was his first prom. What did he know? So I stuck the corsage in my purse and we headed out the door to the place where everyone was taking pre-prom photos. Once we got there, Oakley introduced us to a date who pulled out in boutonniere? The fuck is that? For his lapel and asked Chris if he could help her pin it in place. I, of course, couldn't help myself. I reached into my purse, pulled out the corsage like it was a winning lottery ticket, and said to her, "Oakley said you didn't want something, but I had this made up for you just in case." Oakley shot me a look, and I immediately wished I had kept my mouth shut. He turned to his date apologetically. "You don't have to wear it." She looked back and said, "It's okay, I'll wear it." And that's when I noticed she had made her own corsage, which she was already wearing on one of her wrists. Kendall rolled her eyes. Chris shifted. If I could have evaporated in that moment, I would have. Oakley grabbed a plastic container for me and slid the corsage on the free wrist, and she gracefully extended. And then Chris pinned the boutonniere on Oakley's tux. We took a couple of photos, and then out of nowhere, it started to rain. And by rain, I mean downpour. Rain hadn't been in the forecast, so not one of the 20 kids dressed in black tie or their parents had a rain jacket or an umbrella. These kids are going to get soaked, I thought. But it didn't seem to faze the kids at all. They just kept talking in their group, and then I overheard them say, "So what do you guys want to do for dinner?" I leaned towards Oakley and whispered, "Oh, you guys don't have a reservation for the dinner before the prom?" "Nope." I looked at my husband and said, "They don't have a reservation for dinner?" He shook his head. "I guess not." This didn't seem to bother my husband or my son. Boy, did it bother me. How the hell do 20 kids have no reservation or plans to eat before the prom? Our daughters had this handled months in advance. Oak and his friends kept discussing their options as a group. I looked at them and said, "So what are you guys going to do for dinner?" Oakley turned toward me and said, in that way that only a teenage boy can, "I think we're going to head out and go to Amigos." Now, the Amigos Taqueria is great. It's this great little taco place in the center of town. But it's got maybe 4 tables. The entire place is the size of a shed. All the moms froze, and even the dads were not questioning this plan. 20 kids in a black tie planned to head out into this rainstorm with no umbrellas or rain jackets to a fast food joint that maybe 10 of them can squeeze inside of before prom. I couldn't help myself. You know that feeling when your body is 2 steps ahead of you and you can't stop yourself from saying something or do something irrational? In my defense, I wasn't the only parent who intervened. Dozens of parents were now swarming their kids trying to take control of the situation. I broke out my phone and started searching for restaurants that might have a sit-down reservation available for 20. Noticing there was nothing, I could feel Kendall watching me. She just stood there as I yelled out to the other parents, "I can't find a reservation anywhere. I'll look for a pizza place that delivers here." And that's when she reached out and grabbed my arm, pulled me toward her, and looked me in the eyes. "Mom, if Oakley and his friends want to go taco bar for pre-prom, let them. But it's too small for all of them to fit in. They're going to get soaked," I said. "Mom, let them get soaked." "Oh." "But his sneakers are going to get ruined." "Let them get ruined." "Kendall, they're brand new." "Mom, you're being annoying." "Let them show up to prom in wet tuxedos and dresses." "Let them get where they want." "Oh, let them go eat where they want. It's their prom, not yours. Just drop it." "Let them." The effect was immediate. Something inside of me softened. I could feel the tension disappearing. My mind stopped racing, and the stress of trying to control what was happening evaporated. Why did I need to get involved? Why did I have to manage the situation? Why not worry about what I was going to do for dinner at night rather than what they were? Why was I stressing about them at all? Let them. It's their prom, not yours. Stop controlling or judging it or managing it. Let them. So that's what I did. And the other parents trying to micromanage their kids, I walked up to Oakley and smiled. "What now?" he said. "Here's $40 for Amigos," I told him. "Have an awesome prom." He smiled wide, gave me a huge hug, and said, "Thanks, Mom. We will." Then I watched as Oak and his date stepped out the door into the pouring rain. I watched him run towards the storm and splash mud up onto her gown and ruin his new sneakers. And I didn't care. In fact, it was kind of cute. Little did I know that one moment would fundamentally change my entire approach to life. 1338. Let them. What an amazing idea. Within a week, I could not believe how different I felt. I started saying "let them" anytime I felt stressed, tense, or frustrated. And funny, I realized it was almost regarding other people. Let my family be late to absolutely everything we go to. Let grandma read the news out loud. Did you hear about this? Let people hate the photo I just posted online. Let Oakley be mad that I'm not letting him stay out late tonight. Let them leave dishes in the sink. Let them do construction during the Monday morning commute. Let my relatives be judgmental of my career. Let my mother-in-law disagree with my parenting. Let them be sold out of bagels at the bakery. Let the neighbor's dog bark all day. 2 simple words, let them, changed everything. It was as if I didn't care and was weirdly above it all. The things that used to bother me just didn't. The people who used to annoy me just didn't. The tight grip that I had on my life started to loosen up. Situations at work that would stress me out or cause me to go home and complain to my family just rolled off my back. Brain space that was overflowing with dumb worries, annoyances, and drama was now available for more important things. The more I said let them, the more I realized that a lot of what I worried about wasn't worth my time, nor did it deserve my attention. And not everyone was worth my energy. It was liberating. The more I said let them, the more time I had for myself. Time to think, time to breathe, time to have fun, time to spend on what mattered to me, time to take care of myself. I felt at ease, happy, and centered. The impact was undeniable. Ooh, I love that word. Even Chris noticed, you seem different. And the fact is, I felt different. I felt so good. I just had to shed the let them online. So I posted a 60-second video explaining the let them thing on social media. Here's what I said. And that's where I'm gonna stop. Shout out to Twinsies, my only big bookmark I got. I read 1548. You know, I'm gonna read a bit off stream. You know, I'm gonna read this book off stream. But yeah, I think it was pretty good. I liked what it said. Yeah, that's about it. I'll probably see y'all tomorrow.